Considered the birthplace of California, it has several other claims to fame. It's a military town, it has extraordinary beaches, and it's known as the City of Villages. We'll learn a little bit about the history of Old Town and a lot about what makes this an eclectic shopping destination on this episode of Ms. World Traveler Explores San Diego. The second largest city in California, San Diego has many sides to its personality, which we'll discover as we go. With the highest density of military personnel and their families in the U.S., it is appropriate that the longest serving aircraft carrier in the 20th century, the USS Midway, was decommissioned here. And after participating in the Vietnam War and Desert Storm, it is now an interactive museum and one of the foremost attractions in San Diego. Majestic from every angle, it costs about $40 admission and will take several hours to truly experience it from top to bottom. Not far from the USS Midway on the Embarcadero, the Old Town San Diego State Historic Park seeks to represent the history and culture of California as it transitioned from Mexican to American rule between 1820 and 1870. Many of the original buildings are intact and used as museums, restaurants, shops, and colorful markets. Established in 1968, there is always something going on and plenty to see and do for the whole family, like panning for gold, candle dipping at Toby's Candles, and live entertainment. Another form of entertainment is taking a workshop to learn a new skill, and for that, you would head to Strenger Studio, right in the heart of Old Town. Founded by husband and wife Eric and Claudia Strenger, their passion is to blend timeless craftsmanship with modern flair. Okay, so Claudia, you are right here in the heart of Old Town. Tell me what brought you to this particular place.
I think just lucky. We were working from home, and we just got to a point that we're like, okay, we gotta get out of home. We were in a very little room, and we started looking for places, and we find this location, and we love it. We saw it was connected. It had the two parts of the studio, and we're like, this is it. And then we start finding that Old Town had a kind of background history on printing. There's a museum of printing.
Yes.
There is the school of writing. So it had a lot of connection with what we actually do.
Quite a good fit, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was just everything was just falling into pieces. But it was really
and how did you get into calligraphy in the first place?
So I have always loved letters. I grew up in a very artistic family. My grandfather was a painter. My aunt is an artist. So there was always art around me. I went to graphic design, and then after I graduated, I just became everything. All jobs that were coming to me had to do with type design.
Really?
And I was just loving it. It was really fun. But then it got to a point that everything was so digital. I was all the time on the computer. I started taking classes on the weekends. I found Friends of Calligraphy in San Francisco, and I started taking classes, and one class took to another, and it became this.
You took to it. You already had the love of it, and now you really took to the technique of it.
Yes.
And you and your husband own this business together, and sort of the bulk of it is the stationery, the wedding invitations and announcements and different things like that.
Correct. So that's how it started. I started with my wedding stationery, and then people started asking me will you teach? Yes. And then I will be going to museums, coffee shops, but then it was another extra job, looking for the coffee shop, looking for the museum, looking looking for all these little pieces. And when we started looking for the place, I wanted a place where I could also have a designated space where I could teach and bring people, gather community, build up something. And then that's how we found this location. And now we have our
Here we go. Let's see. I think we should watch you do some.
Sure.
Because it's so beautiful. And I've seen some of your work around the place. And I'm excited to actually watch you do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, Claudia, so we've made our way over to the place where all the magic happens. And you have these very interesting pens, I guess, or are they pens?
Yeah, calligraphy pens.
Calligraphy pens. So tell me sort of what they are and what are you going to do with them?
So there are different calligraphy pens, right? There's different styles that you can do calligraphy with. So there's pointed pen calligraphy that is done with this pen or nib that it's very pointy, so it's kind of sharp. And there are different kind of nibs, like this one, it's very pointy. There's like the shape is different, like you can.
Which is basically just going to cause different effects.
Right. There is this one that is more flat and it's called broad edge. So that is more for italic or Gothic writing. There's different styles that are more involved. They're the ones that are more fat, more bulky. These ones are the ones that are more delicate, that have the thin and thick strokes. Yes, that are more commonly used in wedding invitations. This one is a straight pen holder. It is totally straight, and this one has a flange. That is this little guy over here. What this helps is with the writing in a little slanted position. It helps a lot with all the scripts, cursive scripts that are written in a slanted, in a slanted position. It helps sometimes, or in some occasions, with left-handed people, because that way they will not smear the writing. There are left-handed flanges, so it's not going to be in this side, it's going to be on this side, but that really depends on the way the left-handed person holds the pen. Nibs, there are a million of different nibs on the market, and that will be like a full lesson.
Okay. Unfortunately, no time to do that today, right?
But it really depends on the paper that you're using, the ink that you're using. Some of them are more flexible, some of them are less flexible. These ones are Nico G, but there's a lot of them. And what they do is, when we dip the pen, if we go up, we go with very light. And when we go down, we go with a little pressure. So that way, for example, if we're gonna write your name, when we go up and we go down, we make the pressure. So that's kind of how we get the skinny lines and the thick lines.
So you have to lift the pen when
you lift a lot, yes.
You lift it, okay. I don't think my name ever looks so good.
I have a spot right.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Wow.
So it is a little of technique of going up with no pressure, down with pressure, and learning when to do that transition between thin and thick lines to kind of properly get those thin and thick lines.
Well, you make it look so easy.
You want to try?
I don't know if I was paying close enough attention to exactly what you were doing. All right, so you have to go a little bit of that. Yeah. Okay.
That's really good. So when you go up, you want to hold it like parallel to the paper.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you go up, no pressure.
It's up, no pressure.
Yeah, very light. There you go. And when you go down, you make pressure. There you go. And then you lift. There you go.
Well, I sort of made a pretty K.
There you go. Very pretty.
Nothing like yours, but for my first time.
Pretty good.
It may have been around for centuries, but the art form of calligraphy, or decorative lettering, is timeless, with a beauty and elegance that never goes out of style. Well, I hope you enjoyed our brief look around Old Town. I will just mention that there is plenty of free parking, and I had no trouble finding spaces, which is important because it can be pretty frustrating if you can't find parking. Now stay tuned as we are headed to another San Diego institution on the next segment of Ms. World Traveler. See you then.